You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion. Let's go.
There's always cool examples for me to pull out and say, listen, this was a mistake that happened last week. Came back and a quarterback or a receiver or somebody fixed it or corrected it or recognized it, and they got the same situation. We think that practice is really important, so we'll try to keep those core values that we believe in, that we think that wins football games, that we know wins football games, but then also try to continue to add things to it.
As Tim said yesterday, he said, stuck up for the offense even after last year, so that it's not broken, there's still some continuity. Has there been a good bit of continuity from last year to this year, even with a new system, so to speak?
Yeah, I think there's been some carryover with the coaches. We've had some really good additions. Excited to see where Tony Dews goes with this group. Really excited to be able to add Justin and kind of his vision in the run game. And there was some similars. He's been in that system that we've had here, and he's brought some things in here and some ideas. And we're going to try everything, and we're going to see what we feel like gives us the best chance and what the players respond to.
Christian Fulton dealing with a soft tissue injury?
Get here on time and we'll answer some questions.
Coach, what position group have you seen in the last 2 days really take the biggest strides?
Position group analysis. We're grading them already. I'm joking. You know what? I would tell you this. I thought that there were some cool pockets yesterday from an offensive line standpoint. Saw the quarterbacks able to step up in the pocket, deliver some passes. Sometimes some we hit, some we didn't, but I thought from that group, from one day to the next, I thought that there was at least some good pocket, getting everybody on the same level, not getting picked or on different levels. So that was that.
Mike, what can you tell us about Christian Fulton's situation?
That Christian is here, is under contract, and I would imagine he'll be ready for training camp.
How are some of the guys that we haven't seen, like Caleb Farley and Dylan Radins, how are they coming along?
You asked that question for me, my goodness.
Well, it should have been followed up yesterday. It should have been followed up yesterday.
System.
No, it should have been followed up
So you're all about team for your team.
I just said, hold on, man, this is my time. I asked you, did you want to waste your one question on that? And you said you did, so that's why I went in a different direction yesterday. Christian will be ready to go. Excited to have him. So he's here working, studying. Go ahead, Teron, I'm sorry.
As far as Caleb Farley, Dylan Radins, how are they coming along?
Good. They're working hard. Caleb, lifting hard, looks strong, is healthy. Again, just had a procedure, had a back procedure, and those certainly come along at different times. Dylan, I would say, is on schedule. We anticipate him being able to start the July 25th or whatever the beginning of training camp is. I wouldn't anticipate him starting then, obviously not, but I think it's a good system. These guys are putting a lot of work in. They got a plan with Todd and Frank and following that.
Coach, can you talk about how
with the middle linebackers, you can't only see so much physicality as tying shorts in the spring. Same thing with offensive linemen and defensive linemen, of course. Are you happy with what you're getting accomplished with them? And everything?
It is. We're asking our defensive linemen to play with their hands and play with pad level when we get into some of those jog through periods. And I think that's when you recognize that their improvement is that they can play at a less speed than 100%, play with their hands, play with pad level, move their feet, stay off the ground. That's really how I identify practices now is at this time of year is can you go out there and work and stay off the ground and not trip and fall over each other.
There was a report yesterday that Michael Brockers came in recently for a visit. Is that accurate, and where does that stand?
We had a group of defensive linemen in a couple weeks ago, so that's where that stands.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I'm right. On Radins, you said he's making strides, but he may not be ready at the
I wouldn't anticipate that he would be ready at the start of training camp.
Coach,
Just haven't been just a little more than 6 months.
Landry will be?
I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I would say that Harold is further along just from a time from his surgery.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the Division II and Division III players who've come out. In your experience, has that talent pool grown to reach some of those smaller schools?
I wouldn't want to say either way. I would, I think that there's obviously a lot of good players in those conferences and that level. Kids develop, athletes, people develop different ages. What they look like at 17 or 18 when they go to college, or slip through to a Division II or Division III school. Just looking at my own kids and seeing how people develop between 18 and 22 or 23 years old. So if they can help us and they have an opportunity, we'll give them that opportunity.